are you guys doing? Well, this morning we got some great topics. We want to talk about the silent prison of the mind, an awakening to what is real. How many of you recognize that our mind can play all kinds of games, but they aren't our final thought? And we're not our thoughts, is what I'm saying. So, welcome, and no matter what time it is you're watching this, time's a construct and you're meant to be watching this because you're here, right? So let's take a moment to just arrive, you know? Take a deep breath and hold it. Let go. Let those shoulders relax. And take another deep breath and hold. Let go. And then let jaw relax. And then put your hand on your heart and take a breath and feel that heartbeat and arrive. And hold your breath. And let go. And I'm just going to speak to the fallen minds at the shadow matrix. And we say deactivate, turn off. And we speak to the divine, our original blueprint of our original designs, and we say fully activate, fully on. I am that I am. And take a breath. And hold. And let go. So here we are. We got no need to fix anything right now. No need to figure anything out. Just to breathe and be here. Because what we are about to explore is something most people never stop long enough to see. You know, there's a silent prison that most people are living in, and they don't even know it. It has no walls, no guards, no visible structures. And yet, it controls emotions, decisions, identity, and peace. This prison is not created by the world around you. It is created within you. And the deeper truth is this. It is not reality that traps you. It is the mind's interpretation of reality. See, reality is simple. It is direct. It is happening right now even. But the mind does something very different. Within seconds of any event, your brain begins to interpret, predict, and assign meaning. Did you know from a neuroscience perspective, the brain actually is not observing reality. It is instantly predicting it. And it uses past experiences to guess basically what is happening to you right now. And this is efficient for survival, but it can also distort truth. So let me give you an example, for instance. Someone walks past you and they don't even say hello. And that's reality. That happens. But what happens to our brains? Simple, direct, neutral. That's what happened in the reality. But the mind begins to do this. Did I do something wrong? Did they even notice me? Are they upset with me? Do they not like me? And within seconds, your brain is creating the story, and the story begins. And here's what's important. The event lasted maybe 3 seconds, even. But the mind continues it on. Hello, how are you doing? The mind continues it on for hours, even days sometimes. So this is where suffering begins. Not in reality, but in interpretation. So let's go a little deeper into the science of this. When the mind creates, thanks for the love, creates a stressful story, the body responds as if it's real. The amygdala, your brain, fear center, activates. Stress hormones like cortisol are released, and your heart rate increases. The muscles tighten. Your breath begins to shallow. And here's the key insight. The body does not know the difference between a real threat and an imagined one. You know, so when you replay a conversation or imagine a future argument, your body is living it as if it is happening right now. And this is why overthinking is so exhausting. You are not just thinking, you are physically experiencing what is not even real. An event happens for 10 seconds, say, right? But what happens to your mind? It keeps it alive for days. And there's the prison. We are the captives, we are the prisoner and the prison guard. And we have the key. But we got to pay attention. See, psychology calls this a pattern of rumination and catastrophic thinking. You know, the mind tries to prepare you for danger by imagining every possible outcome. And it tells you this: well, if I think this enough, I'll be safe. But that's the illusion. Overthinking does not create safety. It creates anxiety. It convinces you that you are solving a problem. And when in reality, you are reinforcing fear. I mean, let's use another example. You receive a message, right? We need to talk. That's all you get. What happens with the mind? Come on. What does happen? You know it begins spinning. Oh my gosh, this is bad. You start thinking to your mind, or what did I do? Or oh my gosh, like that sounded serious. This is going to go wrong. And your body starts to react immediately like the conversation's already happened, but nothing has actually even happened yet. And this is how the mind turns possibilities into perceived reality. And if you never question, if you live inside those stories, then you're the prison, or in that prison. Philosophers have understood this for centuries. Even the Stoics said this. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. You know, think about that, you guys. Most of your stress is coming from what is happening in here. It is coming from what, and it is not coming from what's really been happening. It's actually coming from what might happen, from your thoughts, or what already has happened. Very rarely is it coming from this moment. Because let me tell you about this moment. When we see clearly, this moment is often neutral. It's quiet, it's simple, but the mind resists simplicity. It wants complexity. It wants control. It wants certainty. And when it cannot get those things, it creates these stories. Most of our existence is living within our minds. And there's stories we've made up in our minds. I mean, how many of you have seen it where you can be there witnessing the exact same thing, and yet you and the other person witnessing it have seen different things? Because it's perspective. The Gnostics taught this too, is that they described it as we are living in an illusion, a false layer of reality created by misperception and misunderstanding. Not because the world itself is false, but because our interpretation of it is distorted. It's distorted by the thoughts we have and hold within. And the thoughts we've had and been given to us since we were children. The veil is not outside of you. It's not something above out there. It's in here. Everything is within. And when you believe every thought, you are living inside that veil. But when you begin to observe your thoughts, you begin to wake up. And this is what is meant by the kingdom is within you. You know, it is not a place. It is a state of awareness. It is a realization, I am that I am. And that you are not the noise. You are the one aware of the noise. I mean, look at nature. It's my favorite place of teaching because the sky does not resist clouds. Storms pass through it, but it remains unchanged. Your awareness is like the sky. Thoughts are like clouds. Some are dark, some are heavy, some are loud. But they all pass. The problem is not the thoughts exist. The problem is that you believe you are the thoughts. But you are not the storm. You are the space the storm moves through. And when you remember this, everything changes. So what do? We pause. We look around. and we ask, what is actually happening right now? Not what I fear, not what I imagine, not what I predict, what is real. And then feel your body. Observe the thoughts without following them. And instead of saying, this is happening, you begin to say this. I am having a thought that this is happening. That small shift creates space. I call them the pause moments. You know, in that space there is freedom. See, you do not need to control every thought. You do not need to win every internal argument. You do not need to prove yourself to your mind. Stand grounded, like a rod of steel down your spine. You're the eye of the storm. Observe, see clearly, and ask yourself this. Is this real? Or is this my mind? You know, because the moment you see clearly, the moment you step outside the prison, freedom reigns, baby. And it doesn't matter what goes on around you. You find that inner peace. Peace in the midst of the storms. Well, everybody, hope you can pay attention and realize that we get to observe this. We don't have to become our thoughts. We get to find freedom. We get to find the choices of what we want the directions to go. We may not be able to control the world around us. We sure as hell get to define what is really within. Remember, I am that I am. Peace and love. We'll see you guys next time.